I know the game has changed and the media and all that has changed, but back then, if we did the whole podium game thing as they do now, would you have had Clay or Trace or anyone on your lap?
Andrew, that's a good question. And I know people are upset when Riley was up there, and Riley Curry was up there kind of running around and being a 2-year-old or 4-year-old and not just being a kid. And for the most part, you notice when guys bring their daughters or sons up there, they just sit there. Chris Paul does it all the time with his sons, and they just sit there and they listen to their dad, and they listen attentively, and they're well behaved. Riley is a little rambunctious. She runs around. She's very energetic. And what I like is, I'm not trying to get too deep here, but in the African-American community, in the black community, one of the problems, and even in pro sports, Andrew, one of the problems is you hear about a lot of these kids who grew up without a father in their home. And what I like the message that's being sent when the guys bring their kids up with, and they're showing the rest of America that they can be responsible fathers, loving, caring fathers, which they are supposed to be. That is their duty. That's their responsibility. And it's showing that they are living up to that responsibility. And it's just not a bunch of guys out there with these fatherless kids running around. Guys like Steph and Chris Paul and other guys who bring their kids up with them are sending the right message that, see, in the black community, there are a bunch of guys out there who are willing to take the fatherly role and be loving fathers and husbands. So I kind of like the message when the kids go up there with their dads.
Yeah, well said, Michael. I don't have a problem with it. And honestly, listen, I know people are trying to do the job. We've all been there. We all have a job to do post-game. But if I have to hear one more reporter say, hey, Steve, ask a question. All right, so take Riley Curry off the podium, and I get to hear another reporter say, hey, talk about the third quarter run. Michael, my favorite thing ever at a press conference was when Phil Jackson was once asked, hey, can you talk about that 14-0 run in the third quarter? And he said, no. 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 So please stop complaining about little kids on the podium.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.